here we are, kicking off from last session. Just checking around, housekeeping, making sure all the factories are on track in their construction queue, and just turning our view into Hatikva's choice 1. We see that there is a defense platform been built, which means apparently there are incursions by Xenon. So 2Ks coming through the gate as we're speaking right now. Yep, and one just both jumped, and in fact I missed out the first one, so there are now a total of 3 Xenon K destroyers on the Hatikva's choice 1 gate to Tharkas Cascade. This will be an off-sector fight. And with the help of the carrier and its fighters, there should definitely be no casualties in terms of off-sector calculations. I'll just let the AI handle the encounter themselves. Alright, so we see that our fighters are pretty much split, not equally, but into 3 groups, and
awaiting orders.
They're all taking shield damage only because there are too many large and extra large ships here to share the damage load. Oh gosh, that's those faction police. We just shot a plasma right in front of me into their own station platform. Right, so as you can see, the Ks are in there. One's down already, and the other 2 are all in their hulls. This should be fairly easy. There we go, second one's gone, and the third one is no more. This blockade with a Zeus carrier is definitely a bonus with its fighters on defense order. Right, so now this section is all sorted. Xenons are probably not likely to come through anymore. We're going to turn our attention into Hewa's Twins 2. As we can see, the Telaris are pushing very hard into the Xenon territory to reclaim their lost sector of Hewa's Twins 2. And the Xenons at the moment have no capital ships and in the sector, and so let's go closer and see, because our ultimate intention is that we do not want the Telaris to take over the Xenons and take back their territory right now. Given the state of the universe is rather dull if the Xenons are defeated. So here we can see that 4 destroyers are heading into the solar plant up in the western section. Alright, Xenon capital in Hatikva's choice 1. They're already destroyed. Alright, so this is the Xenon station for harvesting energy cells, and we're just having a look at the status of this station. That it's not totally finished. It hasn't totally finished building yet. The structures are still just in middle of fabrication. we're gonna check on their defense, whether they actually have graviton turrets, and they, in fact, they do. Not on all the modules, but they do have probably about 10-20-ish of them all around the installation. And there comes the 4 Teladi destroyers. I'm slowly closing in. And there's another Xenon factory. That would have been the defense platform that we saw in the camera view. So while the Teladis are traveling, just having a quick checkup, make sure we're not ambushed by capital ships down here in Family Zhin. So the destroyer here is still accompanied by its 35 subordinates, just engaging the Xenon ships that go passing by, and they've been pretty effective about it. Yeah, those 2 slipped away, and the others are just engaging the capital ship now, the carrier. And they obviously are no match for our fleet. You see them pretty much pop off once the ships caught up to them. So coming back, the Teladi destroyers are now in range of their main batteries. One of them seems to be getting pretty close. We can see the Xenons are actually engaging with their not so sizable fleet. They are just small ships mostly at the moment, and they are powerless to break any of these destroyers' shield, especially that they are just like my ships earlier. When you let AI control it, they sort of split up the firepower, not equally, but they spread it out, and so none of them do anything to the capital ships at the moment with their strength. And these are the ones that keeps charging in. There are no capital reinforcements. It's just the patrol in company regard, and so they keep charging into the carrier group, which also has a lot of HP. So they will not be able to break it. And given my distance away from them and the cameras, they are being wiped out pretty much consistently. But we can see the Xenons are sending in some ships from outside of our radar range in the sector, so that is not bad. You can see that one destroyer is now in range of the graviton turrets, and the gravitons are now shooting at it. It's trying to maneuver and invade, but it would have been too late, because the turrets has pretty fast firing rates, especially those installation defense turrets. Right. So while this one's trying to maneuver away, it's going up and down, trying to get out of the way, but there are also turrets from the underside of the module as well, and in fact it got itself into a worse crossfire between 2 modules here. Let's starting to lose its hull, and it is too late for it to actually move out of the way. Alright, and there we go. It's done for. Alright, the good thing about this is that means the Xenons, the small ships, the small and medium ships, instead of spread its firepower amongst 4 destroyers, now they're able to concentrate their fire on just 3, as you can see now. Some of with the reinforcements coming in from company regards, we can see they're still continuously pouring in, but at a pretty slow rate. But one of the destroyer here with the OP-862 is indeed starting to get overwhelmed. You can see here now, going fast forward, it has already lost almost half of its shield. They're able to take out the large turret. So the small ships, right now they're still without capital support, slowly gaining their ground with a bit of help with the tanky solar factory there. The other 2 destroyers are also just they're not getting swamped badly. Oh, and look at that, that ship over there. Probably didn't get to show you guys the screen. It is shooting some special missiles there. Something that we don't actually, I don't know if I would ever be getting it. It's called a starburst missile. They seems to have very fast rate. They're not tracking, so they're like a bit like scattered cluster missiles. Yeah, and that one in the background that's shooting the missiles right now, as we can see the trails, they're shooting starburst missiles. That is totally weird, because I've never seen one, and I don't even know we can actually have something like that as well. As you can see, it seems to have a pretty fast projectile speed, at least for missiles. Too bad though, it's not tracking, so they still tend to miss quite a bit. And here, this OP-862 destroyer is about to be destroyed. And again, once it's been destroyed, the Xenons will only be forced be splitting their firepower between 2 destroyers. Only gonna make it easier and easier for them to eventually take out this fleet. Yep, lost its shield generators. Oh, generator. It's a large one. So at least the frame rate is working pretty well this time. So yeah, they don't focus on any of the surface elements. Not that they pose significant threats, but it also just means that the Xenons or the AI mostly won't be able to. They had to maneuver out. Oh, there goes the starburst missile again. So they, because of the defense turrets, keep constantly firing on the enemies nearby. They had to. There we go. Go very close up. They had to maneuver out of the way, so they can't do a prolonged strafing run. They don't quite attack like us. That sometimes we know we're not in any danger, and we can just stay stationary and just keep pounding until our weapons starting to reach its heat dissipation limits. Alright, so 10% hull. It's definitely going to be history. 3, 2, 1, and I didn't get it right. But anyway, there we go, it's gone. There we go. So in this case, only 2 more destroyers remain that's fighting on this, that is trying to destroy the station. Big explosion. Alright. So, yeah, so still at the solar Xenon solar power plant. Yep, as we can see, now they've diverted all their forces onto this fleet. This fleet leader here, and who probably run out of their starburst missiles by now, given they've been shooting it very liberally. And so given the sheer amount of medium ships and small ships here that is on it, it's losing shield very fast. And they now the Teladi simply cannot face tank these ships anymore, even without the help of graviton turrets or capital ships, which also has graviton turrets, of course. So the Xenon impulse turrets really, excuse me, really feels like mosquito bites, but they can hurt a lot. Oh. Look at that. The main battery from its one of its the other battleship just helped the Xenon kill their own squad leader. Like all 6 projectiles hits its own squad leader, fleet leader. Just then, and well, that did not help, did it? I probably should have checked what kind of pilot they have that actually murders its own squad leader. No, that's it, it's gone. And we can see all of them swarming to the last battleship, which is we'll probably consider as a traitor. So just going back and trying to focus on that. But this time just looking at from the point of view. Oh, and here we go, we look at that. We got a Zeus Sentinel being under attack. So while we were busy here, it's been confronted by a, well, it's a Xenon I. And that was totally uncalled for. I had my I had its escort ships on its interception duty, and so having that on interception duty means they will not engage the enemy that is bigger than small M size, so that's why they're not engaging. And that's probably not really ideal. We should just keep it on something like on defense duty. But on defense duty there's a problem too, because that means they will not do anything. They will even sit there idly if they're being attacked. The only way they will react is their fleet leader that they're supposed to be defending was under attack. So here we go. A little bit of a scramble here. I'm trying to see if I can save it. With all the fighters undocked, if they can spread out the damage so that the carrier can hopefully survive. So again, they got a bit messed up with their commands. I would have to remove all orders before I issue the attack order. Alright, so now they are attacking, or really just defended. We just have to hope that they can tank it. They can withstand the sheer firepower of the Eye. We cannot teleport in right now to take care of the Eye, because in sector at this close range the carrier stands no chance. Let's have a look at the Eye. They are definitely not breaking its tank, staying at 99%. The good thing is that looking back at our carrier, back at our carrier, which is gone below 50% shield, is eventually able to shield tank with the help of its own fighter squadrons. So yeah, slowly charging back up, stable at 45%-ish. But this is going to be pretty stagnant here, that neither side are going to break each other's tank, and I am forbidden for, well, if I don't want to lose that carrier, I'm forbidden from engaging the Xenon. So here we go. We need more firepower, obviously. Let's see, auxiliaries, maybe not a good idea because it has trader subordinates, so best to just let it stay here. Eventually we went up and produced more auxiliary ships for the time being, just solely for the purpose of sending out drones. And up here instead we sent our carrier, the second carrier, through from Hatikva's choice. Unfortunately, as we come through the gate, it is intercepted by a Xenon K. And so here we go, they got to break through the Xenon K first before they can go and support their buddy up there, which is a little bit struggling, but we are tanking. Our shield go all the way up to 90% now, and we still have 35 subordinates, so we don't lose any ships here. But if we don't take out the I, any second capital ship in the area will definitely doom our carrier group. Alright, so a bit of a struggle here, but going a bit fast, a bit more further down, we can see that we are okay to take down the K off sector again, because we don't want Hewa's twin efforts in Hewa's twin get lost as well. And besides, close, as I said, close encounters means we cannot really go in sector right now to intercept the capital ship, and it will probably most likely destroy our fleet instead. So the K is pretty much gone now, 10% hull to go, and it will disappear in pretty much now. Alright, so just need to wait until the fighters get docked, and before I get the second carrier to come here and share the fire, the tanking duty. So it'll be a meat shield there. Right, so how is Hewa's twin 2 right now? As we can see, the capital, there's 1K coming in, but it's in a low part, like in the eclipse line. It's actually down the y-axis near the defense platform, so it's actually not engaging any Pilates ships at all. But over here, the destroyers, there's only one destroyer escort here. Right, so ensure that we finally have 2 carriers in position at Family Zhin. Right, just trying to move it into position and make sure it stops, otherwise it will issue a recall subordinate command if you ask the carrier to move. So again, selecting on the Xenon I, and now everyone's undocking and on attack order. Let's see if this breaks the tank. With 40 extra fighters, just look at that. Alright, so we started engaging and looks like the first run is good. The tank, the shield is consistently going down back into 80% ish, 85%. They would most likely just being able to do it. Yeah, down to 80. Right, so with 40 extra fighters, it looks like they are going to make a short work in off-sector calculations. Those small ships will just get taken out by the defense turrets of the carrier, which is equipped with flak cannons. Alright, so going back to Hewa's twins 2, like I said, the carrier group has not rendezvoused with its remaining escort fleet. There's only one destroyer accompanying the outlet, sorry, not the Atlas, the Stork and the Condor, the auxiliary ship and the carrier, so we can see here. And the other ones over there on the top is very close but not close enough. Oh, and look at that. The engine just got taken out. One of the 3 engines. Okay, so looks like the Xenons are able to keep them separated at the moment. You can see the Stork's engine is smoking. One of its engines. And just having a look at the current situation, it looks like they are going to be able to break the tank slowly of the super capitals there, the extra large ships. Back onto the I, it lost all its shield and it's now down to 50%, 45% hull, and so it's near the end. We were pretty lucky. We actually know that 40 speedy fighters, that's going at 400 meters per second spec, plus a Zeus carrier is able to tank even a Xenon I out of sector with no losses at all. So the idea is to then keep those carriers close enough and have one carrier on intercept duty, one carrier's escort fleet on intercept duty. Okay, look at that. That escort ship is about to lose all its shield. Yeah, so one fleet on with its escorts in intercept to take care of the small ships and medium, and then so they go hunting, and then the other one on defense. So when a capital gets in close range, they will hit both capitals, and at least one capital's fleet will engage, escorts will engage the Xenon capitals. Alright, so I think that yeah, the destroyer Phoenix just lost its shield, almost 7% left. And they still have not rendezvoused with the other destroyers. So this situation here now is getting dire for the 2 capitals with in terms of escorts, lack of escorts, we'll say, to defend themselves with the plasmas. They don't perform good. They don't perform well enough against fast-moving ships. Even the medium-sized ships, they will have trouble hitting them. As you can see, there's all these green plasma balls flying around, but there are just too many Xenons around now, just like how we surrounded the Xenon I. The Xenons using the same tactics. Really just a coincidence. I wouldn't call them smart in this situation. They just throw in whatever they've got, but essentially it's the same thing. Alright, 50% hull left on the destroyer, and once it's destroyed, again the Xenons can focus their firepower onto these extra large capitals, and so even these capitals will not be able to withstand the firepower of the swarm here. Very buggy swarm, bug-like swarms here. 30% hull. So Hewa's Twins is really pretty much a graveyard here. It's highly contested. They do have quite a bit of decent resources here at Hewa's Twins 2. So so that the Telaris will not likely want to lose it, even though they have already, but they want to claim it back. Elsewhere in Matrix 451 though, the Xenons aren't doing too good over there. They spent a lot of their resources yeah, okay, that destroys on. They spend a lot of their resources on small ships, and sometimes they're just not effective in off-sector fights. So if I go right out of the sector, these fleet of small ships will pretty much get decimated by the destroyers. Right, so we can see that the Storks, the auxiliary ships in the background, is losing its shield already. As the Xenons have more ships now, just to tend to these two extra large capital ships. And the Telari ships don't necessarily, well, they don't actually possess the biggest, largest hull, so they can get taken down pretty easily. They did have excellent shield buffer, but the shield recharge rate is also the way Ecosoft balance it is that they have much lower charge rate than any other factions that I know of so far. So it's a trade-off between shield capacity and shield recharge rate. You can have one or the other, but not both. Unless you mod your modules, of course, and but that only improves it. But it's not in vanilla terms and unmodded terms. That's just how it is. It's a very simple algorithm for balance, but it kind of works. You sort of get used to it. Of course, if it can be more sophisticated, it will be more fun. But I doubt it's of any priority in this situation. Okay, now the Stork is gone, and the Condor is at half shield. It's simply getting slaughtered here now. Now that as each one of one less Telari means about 5 to 10 more ships are able to focus on the remaining group. And so here we can see the Condor is already losing shield fast now. So the Xenon piece, while by itself, has relatively slow fire rate and maneuvering capabilities. They, in numbers of 3 to 5 of them, they can still do a decent punch. This it's got to do with their slow speed, so they can fire more rounds before they have to sort of turn away and make a second strafing run. So they can let off more ammos, and obviously they have infinite ammos with the impulse cannons, and that gives them that bit of an edge that they can deal more sustained DPS. Alright, the Condor is not doing too well now, and as we predicted, even though with 4 destroyers, but the Xenons have successfully cut off the Teladi from reinforcing their carrier, and that is truly the idea of divide and conquer, isn't it? So all in all, out of sector, in sector, they've done pretty well. So here it gives us 2 giant XL racks, and so you can see now all these red trails. They are heading to the destroyer groups now, and in the rest of this session we can pretty much see how the Teladi's being dominated by the and of course with a bit of help from us with the in-sector calculations, being dominated by the Xenons. So just look at all these impulse cannon that's splashing. And there we go, the huge capital ship. Xenon K is actually on the northeastern side of the map, not getting itself involved in this fight over here. And it only gets quicker. It gets quicker that the Teladis are getting destroyed one by one. So we can see all these plasmas. Most of them don't actually hit their intended targets at all. So while they have strong DPS, they get negated if they don't hit, if they're unable to hit their targets at all. All these DPS will translate into 0. Here's one with a bolt turret. But it's too little and too late. They almost suffer from the same friendly fire that the other fleet has. I'm pretty sure it hits its leader again. Probably just 2 shots, but still count as friendly fire. In the background, just in the mist. There's two huge wrecks. Just looks absolutely stunning when you can enjoy a fight of the scale like this, and totally play out by the AIs, and without having to worry about too much frame lag. And I think that's the beauty of X4. Now, of course, I mean, there are others I would love to see, but there are others with stunning effects, such as EVE Online and things like that. But after all, EVE Online don't quite have the same of AI manipulations as X4 has. It's multiplayer, and so a lot of things are controlled by the players, a lot of entities, and you sort of get the hang of it once you min-max your stats out. Whereas in X4, yes, you can still min-max with, for example, some people like to just go with the overpowered split rattlesnake destroyers, just mod it and then go and blast everything out of the sky. But at least there's a possibility that you can do things in different ways and different approach, and you play a vital part in the economy, even though there's hardly what you call a player-driven economy, but everything's sort of dictate between your action and the AI's actions. That supposedly everything's been accounted for. Not sure about the CAC though. I don't know how they keep spawning ships if you don't see their industrial stations or ships running around. But almost every other race in X4 is at least abiding to the rules of being having things to be accounted for. Yeah, okay, I think I missed out one is the SCA. They also have pirates spawning out of nowhere. So here we go, the remaining battleships are pretty much all losing their tanks, both of them at pretty much the same time. Yeah, so I'm not sure there are other games like this. I'm going to try Endless Space, and the battle in there that you can't actually control your ships come for a bit short. It's more like how you do with EVE Online, but you have to do a predetermined counter, like a card game kind of thing. They decide your doctrine and things like that. Stellaris, again, just fleet power and then let it see how it pans out. Too bad you can't be in the cockpit and butt in and leading your fleet. Starpoint Gemini comes a bit closer, but the vanilla Starpoint Gemini don't have much of it in terms of epic fleet fights. The Warlord version has it. How epic? Certainly not to the scale. A lot of ships. I don't know. In Starpoint Gemini, you sort of give you the feeling that it seems like the bigger ships are always better. They don't seem to have case where like in EVA line and in X4, you can still be a huge turning point or an important factor in deciding the outcome of the battle, regardless of the size of the ship you are in. So I guess that's where it lost, sort of inferior to the X4 system here. However, X4 is not without its own problems. Lots of bugs, even after 2 years it released, and still a lot of balancing need to be done. A lot of ships and modules are just copy-paste variants. So I don't know. I guess it's just taking forever to look for a perfect game. Obviously, the good thing about X4 is that you can smart. Alright, is that we can see the whole fleet now are going to engage that Teladi plot over there mostly. They have their trolley drive fired up. So that pretty much leaves the rest of the session as it is. We just have a little part at the back in the remaining bit about how to control. This is about how to control your drones or fleets. So this section is right after. This section is right after the session where I by chance found out that there is a Xenon I heading directly to my carrier group. So in here I'm just going to show again in detail
Family Zhin.
how it's done. If you want to have a drone carrier or you want to have a manual control of your carrier groups in sector. So my carrier here without adequate supply still have 35 out of 40 fighters left. We need to control them to attack the incoming Xenon I, which is about 30 kilometers away from us right now. We need to make sure it doesn't get in range of its gravitons to start hitting us. So the easiest thing, obviously, you go into the list and select attack. It can be anywhere in or out of sector, but we're specifically looking at in sector. Find control of your subordinates via the fleet command. So to issue fleet command, you have to be at the helm of the ship. You have to be the one who's flying. The fleet or squad leader or the wing leader. So in this case, there's just one hierarchy. So we just what you do is you have to target an entity, whether it's a ship or one of its subsystems. So in this case a graviton turret. You go to the map, make sure you right click on your fleet member, and then you can issue the command of attack my target like this. We select the next target, and then you say fleet attack my target. Now try to have them approach from the same side, so don't just go and take out the item like the sub element, surface element on the other side, because they need to sort of get into the attacking angle, which is pretty easy. It's 90 degrees perpendicular to the target that they are fighting. That would be most optimal. Otherwise they will just they'll just spend time of getting themselves in position, and that sort of expose them to more chance of being taken out. Now the idea is the impulse turret don't do any damage significant enough to take out your fleet, so you should focus on the graviton batteries, especially the ones that's more concentrated. For the I, that will be the 8 turrets on the front, and for the K, well, you probably try to take out all the turrets on one side and work from under instead of going over. So you sort of go either clockwise or anti-clockwise. So I'm trying to take out the turrets in between the engines, because the engines can get in the way, and these 2 turrets, they place very close nearby. They have the potential to actually take out slow approaching ships or ships that doesn't have a lot of buffer in shield and hull. They can one-shot some small ships very easily with a direct hit. So you gotta be kind of lucky or be careful. But again, select the target, right click on one of your green subordinates and bring up the contestant on the context menu, and go with and follow with attack my target command. So you keep working around in sort of in the fashion that give them the least traverse time, troubled to get their attack angle. Right now we're just going from one side, from under, and then take out both engines, and then we start taking out its large turret on the other side. Try to find a way of maneuvering so it expose your fighters to the least concentrated enemy fire that could pose danger to them. So like I was doing, from low to high, going all the way from one side to the other. As you can already see that I think the K is probably getting pretty low on shield already. Yeah, it definitely ran out of shield. And so the other thing is, like I said, the P, the small and medium ship escorts. If you have the chance, you don't need to go very far away to engage them. But when they do get in range, it's probably important that you try to take them out before you attack the capital ship, because what happened is that because they are mobile, so what happened is they are able to output sustained DPS by keep their crosshair on the selected targets, which is one of your fighters in their crosshairs, and to pose more harm to your fighters. But there's no point traveling 10 kilometers back and forth just to try to take them out. You just wait for them to come through, take out whatever that's in the best angle of approach, that again, like I said, expose your fighters to the least possible enemy fire in their firing arcs, and just work your way around their capital ship and then slowly burn them down. 40 fighters, it's voila. Yeah, and that's it. We've taken out the enemy fleet. Well, sorry, enemy capital here. We're just mopping up the battlefield, and in this particular case, we're pretty lucky with a fast ship even only with 2 main guns. If you just look at the results, is that we have actually still have 35 subordinates left. We started with 35. Only 1 ship out of the entire fleet was actually hurt and needed repairs, and only 1 ship, and it didn't even get destroyed. So this is how you you do the same thing with drones, except drones travel at a slower speed, and which means they get destroyed more easily. But 1 carrier worth of drones, like 90 drones, if they don't get taken out by the gravitons, they can actually destroy an eye with their firepower. So this is it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you like my videos, and if you like more videos of this kind, please remember to subscribe and follow me on Facebook or Twitch. For the meantime, I'll call this session to an end, and we will see you again next time.